crazy, AG.
All right. Welcome to Straight Talk No Chase. had a couple little technical difficulties there for a second, but we're back in business nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trip Simpson alongside Ask Miss Smith.
Hey guys.
Kirk Keys and the one and only Cosby Digital. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today?
Good. Look, can y'all see Kurt? Look.
You don't need to see me. You can hear me. That's all that matters.
So what's good?
Nothing. Chilling, cooling. My week was good. How about yours thus far? My weekend was good too.
I mean, same old.
Yeah.
Just making moves, getting business together, working. I'm doing 2-a-days right now in the gym. Trying to get ready for vacation season. Trying to get rid of this motherfucking beer gut. So I switched to scotch.
Okay.
Let's see if that works.
I expected him to have Crystal Light.
Nah, that's why, like I said, that's why I'm doing 2-a-days so I can still drink. You know what I mean? I'm burning twice the calories.
Yeah.
I'm not eating much, but I can still drink at night.
Yeah.
Make sense?
So this is what I'm on today.
Questionable.
My mic's not even plugged. Somebody plug my headphones in.
How come
Somebody plug me in. I was like, damn, I don't hear anything as well as I should. I'll just talk about my week because apparently my mic works. I had a good week. I signed a new client. Shout out to the Fennell Adventures gang. I'm working with a group. It's a really great black family, man. They travel all over the country. They write books. One of the kids, a 12-year-old, like he's like the lead of the family. Like he does like digital animations. It's really cool, man. It's good to see a black family business, man, and a really strong mother supporting her children in their entrepreneur goals. They got a Kickstarter today. They're launching. Make sure y'all check that out. Go to my page and make sure you guys check that out.
What's it called?
It's the FennellAdventures.com. www.FennellAdventures.com.
Fennell.
FENNELL FennellAdventures.com. Make sure y'all go to my page and check that out and support the kids, man. They got some really good travel books. And it's really good for entertaining your kids during COVID, man. That's why they wrote the book. So make sure you support them.
Definitely,
Nice.
Kirk, what you got, man?
First, I want to say I think that's my family, but that's a whole background story. That's neither here nor
For real,
there.
they say he's from Delaware.
I know.
Well, if you know that, they probably your cousins then.
No, listen. I randomly during COVID, back in like March, went on this trip and met some of my family that my grandmother told me I had that I didn't know I had prior to this year. So that's a whole nother separate story. Neither here nor there though, but it is the Fennels. That's why I asked you to spell it.
Yep.
I had a back to school event. That joint went well. We gave away 100 book bags, some PPE equipment, food, all of that good stuff, and celebrated a birthday. So
Nice.
had a good weekend.
That sweatsuit is sweet right there. National Youth Baseball Academy.
Yeah.
That's your shit too,
about
right?
the baseball, yeah. I mean, I work with them. We partner with them, good stuff like that. But I also run my own youth program. So, but yeah, shout out to the Nats. They won the World Series. They still champs right now, as of right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks to COVID. I guess.
Is baseball even going on?
I don't know what's going on. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I stopped watching sports for real ever since, you know.
Well, the Nats are still the champs, so I guess.
Yeah, because they haven't had another World Series, so they champions as of
COVID-19 ain't so bad.
They were still
It's
playing
not.
baseball, but what is it, September? Oh yeah, they still got time. It's about to be the playoffs, most likely.
Nah, they playing. I
I
think.
know they playing. I'm just saying I can't tell you where they are in the
I
season.
feel like they ain't covering
We
baseball.
know in
like-
basketball, yeah, how we know in basketball
Yeah,
they in the
they ain't
playoffs. That's
covering.
what I mean. I think we
If
about
it
to
ain't
get
the
to
bubble
playoffs.
or NFL. They ain't even talking about baseball.
Life. We always get the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
We make the most money though, so I'm saying we like I'm in it.
Who's we, boss?
Like, I ain't got none of that money.
Who is this we? You
Nigga sound like Charlemagne the God.
Hey,
Oh shit.
Don't try to play me, bro.
we sick, boss?
As I said, how I'm sitting here repping the Nats, yeah, I still got my own too though. So
So
both
look,
of them.
where y'all want to start today? Y'all
Don't
want to
let
start?
that nigga talk to you like that. He got on the guest shirt and guest socks.
Yeah, he got the guest shirts. and
He
guest
got a
socks.
matching outfit.
Yes. It's not even Gap.
Nigga, these my house clothes,
It
man.
ain't even Yeezy, bro.
Damn, that's how rich you are. You matching the house.
I mean, you never know.
Never know what.
Never know what you'll get.
All right, so where y'all want to start? Y'all want to go with Andrew Gilliam stating the obvious, or do you want to go with Joe Budden and Charlemagne the God once again?
I'd say we start off with Gillum.
It's raining men.
He couldn't wait to hit that
They both hit it.
one. They were both going for the button at the same time.
Oh man.
Let's go. All right. Okay, everybody. So Andrew Gilliam recently
Andrew Gillum.
Gillum recently sat down with Tamron Hall to discuss his gangbang meth party
Oh.
that he
His
had.
wife. Him and his wife. Let's not forget.
That he had a couple months ago, and from what, because I didn't even see the video. Did you guys see the video?
No, I didn't see
I didn't see. I just read articles on it, and apparently in this article, Andrew Gilliam admitted to being a bisexual. Who didn't know that, right?
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
I feel like this episode's going to end up getting deleted.
I did that.
Well, no, look, man. Shout out to Andrew Gilliam for
Gillum.
you know,
Gilliam.
shout out to Andrew Gilliam for stating what everybody knew. You know what I mean? I won't delve into my thoughts first. I wanna start with
Nah, nigga. Don't try to pass the rock.
No, I wanna
You
start-
already warmed up the motherfucking skillet. Okay?
And everybody played to hear what you guys
Nah,
said.
we went here what you got to
They
say.
already know what you coming with.
Nope.
all right. So cool. So I'll get to it. Fucking cowards.
Nah, he tried to heat it up and pass the rock. Here you go.
I hit a LeBron.
Not today.
Oh shit.
Not today.
Okay, my thoughts on Andrew Gilliam coming out. First of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody coming out. If you feel like you need to tell the world what you do in the privacy of your own bedroom, more power to you. I'm not knocking you. However, I have an issue with Andrew Gilliam because I think that he's only doing
out.
this to save his political career, and I also have an issue with the press because now they're constructing this narrative that because he's bi, we should protect him and we shouldn't do. No, Andrew Gilliam is a shitbag. He was in a hotel getting gangbanged, smoking meth with prostitutes. If he was a straight male, he'd be getting drugged through the mud left and fucking right.
Unless he was in the GOP.
Well, them GOPs, they like to suck dick in bathrooms.
It's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men.
But nah.
You got 14.
But nah, Andrew Gillum, man, honestly, I think he's a piece of shit. I mean, I always thought he was a piece of shit before he even got caught in the hotel getting gangbanged. I always thought he was a piece of shit. My question to you guys is, though, do you think his wife knew?
Yes. I think she knew. So in that actual interview, so they both went on Tamara Hall and they both were talking about it. So basically, he basically was kind of like, you know, I give all power to my wife, whatever. And they actually talked about it. And she said that she knew of, you know, his, I guess, extra stuff, like his
extramarital affairs.
Yeah. So I think my thing is this. No, their relationship is their relationship. That's a private matter. And if she knew, she knew. And if she's okay with that, that's her business. More power to her. However, I feel like a lot of times these, you know, political people and celebrities and people in the media fail to realize that, like, nothing is private. So, like, you literally, you know, have to walk around and do things discreetly. It's unfortunately, unless you want to, you know, be full on out there. And I feel like it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if he, you know, came out as a bisexual politician early on in the game.
What's my man name? Buttigieg?
Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
If he could do it,
right.
My man could have done it.
Yeah.
He should have done it from Jump Street.
But see, the thing,
he's also married, so that's why he didn't, because it's a whole, you know, that toe to thin line. But I really don't think his wife knew. But I don't like to really talk about speculation. We don't know whether she knew or not.
I think
no, she
knew.
said it in the what's her name? She said
She said she did, but we don't know whether she knew or not.
Come on now. First, I mean, come on.
I mean, she might have found something early on.
Right, exactly.
It's a lot of women and men that stand with their cheating spouses.
Political power that could come with this.
Yeah, that might have been the man of her dreams. They have children together.
Yeah,
they have a life built together. She might have seen something and suspected something, but she had to weigh her options. Do I divorce him and go back to obscurity, or do I ride this political train to the top?
Yeah.
I know he turned his
I'm sorry, you said political train. He got gangbanged.
I did that. Allegedly. So, I mean, I find this very interesting, Trip Simpson, right? Because we talk about this all the time on the show. Who your favorite politician is, right? And we routinely say Marion Barry, right? I'm a firm believer of, if a politician is doing what he has to do for his city, his people, you know what I'm saying? What they do in their personal life is their personal business, right? It's the same reason Andrew Gillum will be able to get back into politics is the same reason Marion Barry was able to get back in politics and win the mayorship of DC after getting caught smoking crack with a prostitute, because what he did, quote unquote transgressions or quote unquote morally wrong, depending on who's looking at it, doesn't mean shit when it comes down to what policies did you advance, how do people respect you. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Andrew Gillum's actual political record. The reason why he rose so fast, the reason why he rose so fast in the Democratic Party, like, he put in work in the state of Florida, right? So one thing Republicans or his detractors,
he also lost, though.
He put in work in the state of Florida. Whoa.
Yeah,
he was the mayor of Tallahassee.
Yeah,
okay. He was the mayor of Tallahassee. That's it. He didn't put no fucking work. He put in work in Tallahassee. But
so
question.
Question. So he was the mayor of Tallahassee. Your favorite representative or your favorite politician was the mayor in DC. They was both mayors.
Okay, hear me out. His record in Tallahassee isn't all that great with black people. The reason why he's rose to the top of the Democratic Party in Florida is because of his white-leaning liberal policies.
So what do you feel like his transgressions were in Florida?
I want to ask, though, real quick, what's the point in making that statement? Because it didn't have to be with black people for him to win.
No, well, okay. First and foremost, let me lay this groundwork down for you guys right now. My measure on every politician pertains to what they do for my community.
I feel you.
So I don't give a shit what he did for anybody else. If he's not doing anything for my community, then he's an enemy to me.
What do you feel like he did? What do you feel like he did negatively for black people in Tallahassee?
let's just look at Tallahassee for what it is right now, and let's look at the state of black people in Tallahassee. The black
That's
people.
not. Hold on. That's not what I asked you. I don't want to see that Republican shuck and jive.
It's not a shuck and fucking jive.
What do you feel like he did negatively for black people in the state of in the city of Tallahassee, Florida?
Look up the median household income.
No.
For
So
black people.
the mayor does not. The mayor of a city has very little effect on the median income of a place. It's so many factors that go into median income. We have a very educated listening audience to Straight Talk No Chase, so we don't even have to go in that far. But if you're gonna shit on somebody and say what they didn't do, you have to be able to name a policy that negatively affected black people. So if you can't name a policy that negatively affected black people, I don't really want to hear that shit. So
I mean, can you name a policy that positively affected black people?
Let's talk about
Because can you name a policy that positively affected black
let's
people?
talk about
You fucking can't. You can't.
You didn't even let me talk about it, so we can talk
You
about
asked me a question, I answered it. I don't know one.
But then you cut me
Do
off.
you know one?
You cut me off when I was trying to answer it.
Ding, 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 ding.
So we can go back. We can go back from Andrew Gillum's work with the Democratic Party registering people to vote, and So this is the classic Republican thing they do. Once I start laying out the case for why he put work in, it's like, oh my God. So you gonna let me do it, or you gonna interrupt?
I mean, I'm gonna interrupt.
You gonna let me do it?
Marion Barry. Shout out to Yes I Am Lily Wilson.
Yep.
She put it point blank. Marion Barry made black billionaires, and he made the richest black county in the entire United States as an offspring of Marion Barry's policies.
So Marion Barry was in a unique position in Washington, D.C., that you had an opportunity to give out district and federal government jobs. In no other city.
He didn't give out federal government jobs.
Well, he put people in position to get to federal government jobs, because the entry to federal government jobs at that time was D.C. government jobs.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Why wasn't it?
District government jobs paid damn near just as well as federal government jobs.
I agree with
the Marion Barry.
But I agree with you. But at the same time, it was still the people who wanted to get to the federal level, like get into FEMA, get into HUD, DOD. If you had government experience, you had preference over people who did not.
Bro, the federal government works today like it's always worked.
So
you got to know somebody to get in.
So do you
damn near half my family works for the federal government.
Do you or do you
have
not
to know
get
somebody?
Do you not get preference if you worked in district government first?
Maybe.
Yes, you do.
I don't know.
You do.
I don't know. I don't know that.
You do. You absolutely do. I do know.
So how about this? I know.
You know why? Because my twin uncles work for the they started in DC, then they went to the Federal Park Service, right? And they got preference because they started in DC government. Anytime you're in government and government agents are related, like you put down government experience, in general, you're gonna get preference. But if you talk about DC to federal, you get preference.
Okay.
So he opened up the door for people to get in district government and federal government. Like you said, I agree with you that the DC jobs, and to this day, DC government jobs are rivaling federal government jobs in the pay scale. And some of the top 10 positions, they get paid more.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they get paid more.
I mean, the DC government is here. The federal government is here. I mean, it's safe to say that with or without Marion Barry, you could have made those relations with the DC government and federal government. But what I'm saying is the things that Marion Barry put in place for
especially
district
for
residents,
the black community and district residents,
still sets us at, even though it's nothing to brag about because our condition in this country is in dire need of assistance. However, it still puts us in that top tier of economies where black people can actually thrive.
y'all are smart, politically savvy people. Are y'all comparing Washington D.C. to Tallahassee, Florida with a straight face?
You compared
with a straight face?
You compared him to Marion Barry.
No, I just made the juxtaposition of somebody's personal
big
life.
Words, okay.
Their personal life not affecting your opinion. Because Marion Barry smoked crack with a prostitute. And you said Andrew Gillum gangbang with meth. So it's crack. Is crack more notable or noble drug than meth?
Yes.
Guys, just say no to drugs.
So they both use hard drugs, and they both going to be back in the just like.
But I feel like the relevant conversation here is Marion Barry was a mayor. He smoked crack. He got back to being a mayor.
Yeah.
Andrew Gillum was a mayor. He did what he did. Will he go back to being a mayor, or will he actually get what his next step was, or what his next level was, or any of that? Because that's what we talk about. Because if he's just a mayor, we don't even care that he's just a mayor. He can be the mayor of Tallahassee all day. Will we know his name?
He almost became the governor.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
he-
I mean.
like,
so he
if-
lost
and he
and
ran-
then did this.
and he
didn't
ran
win
on-
and
he
did it.
ran on-
He wasn't in office and did it. He lost and then did it. So
But not for
to lose and do it. You just gonna be a loser that continues to do it, or lost and did it, whatever you.
I mean,
But
but
not-
he
not
he
for
ran
voter-
on family values.
Yeah,
though.
not but
that
not
was
for-
his. That
Every
was his
politician,
thing.
every politician runs on family values. What politician runs on?
Donald Trump.
Hey, I'm in the club
Donald Trump.
smoking my. I'm in the club on meth.
That's why I don't like politicians.
So what are we talking about?
Because they run on family values.
What politician doesn't run on family? Donald Trump runs on family values, and he had 5 wives, paid off a prostitute, talks dirty about his own daughter and his friends with Epstein, but he still gets to run on family values. So what do we? Every politician, it don't matter how dirty you are, they ain't like, I'm for the family. That shit doesn't matter. That's not nothing to argue.
All I'm saying is the nigga's trash, man. I mean,
So I think if we put his record up.
I can't.
So
relate
we
to
didn't
Andrew
get a chance to get into his whole record. I'm not gonna lay the whole thing out. I challenge you guys, look up Andrew Gillum's accomplishments as a mayor, and look up his actual platform when he was running for governor. Not for voter suppression in the state of Florida, he would have won. Disenfranchising felons, disenfranchising certain communities with voter suppression, Andrew Gillum would have won. He was definitely the better candidate than DeSantis.
He would have. He lost.
DeSantis
He would have won. He lost.
I mean, I said if not for voter suppression. That's a very important.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I do know about it. So
I mean, what? See, one thing about the state of Florida is everybody gets the Latino vote extremely fucked up. Latinos vote Republican in the state of Florida, and they are pretty much the majority next to white people in the state of Florida, and they vote Republican for the most part. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So that's why the Republican strategy is to disenfranchise black
all
people.
of that happened, and he
actually,
still only lost by.
I'll go one up. I'll go one up even further. Like a lot of quote unquote people of color in the state of Florida vote Republican because Floridians are dead set on their gun rights.
No. That's not a fact.
That's a fact.
It's not a fact.
Okay.
I challenge everybody to really look up the statistics of that last election. That is not a fact. So we're gonna look
pretend
at.
that we have a caller, right? So my girl, she went to Florida State, and she says he raised the minimum wage and pushed for better and safer government housing. He also worked with the Dream Defenders against mass incarceration and changing minimum sentences in Florida. And things that would have gotten rid of the
Was that when he was running on? Because how can he change the minimums in Florida when he wasn't the governor?
He ran on. I'm just answering your question.
Oh, that's what he ran on.
In the city of Tallahassee.
Okay, so
the mayor has an effect on.
No. She
city
just said in the
policy.
state of Florida. She didn't say in the city of Tallahassee.
Nah, she wasn't saying the state of Florida. She was saying, oh, she might have.
Yeah.
She changed the minimum sentences in Florida. Is what he was working with.
Okay, so what was he trying to do specifically for Black Americans in the state of Florida?
Raising minimum wage is important because most.
But everybody gets a raise when minimum wage is raised.
But it also
everybody gets a raise.
Proportionally affects Black people.
It doesn't.
So hold on. If Andrew Gillum didn't have a reparations bill, he's gonna shit on everything we say after that. So there's really no point of us talking about that. Andrew Gillum's constituency is Black people in the state of Florida.
But there's plenty of poor white people and poor Hispanics in Florida.
No Black person. So let's talk about local politics, right? Local politics, unlike any politics, mayor, council, state representative, is strongly divided on racial lines. So if you're not doing anything for Black people, you will never win the mayorship in a place like that. Ever. That's why DC has
Ferguson, Missouri is 70% Black.
Well,
and look who runs Ferguson, Missouri.
But is any black people running in a significant way?
I don't know if anybody running or not. I'm just telling you. If you just said you're not going to win in a black city if you're not doing nothing for black people.
Is the mayor?
That's what you just said.
Is the mayor of Ferguson white?
Yes.
I gotta look into that.
I don't really know.
You made an argument like you do. I don't even know.
I gotta look into it. I gotta look into it.
No.
He did. I gotta look into it.
Hold on. First of all, let me correct you, Kirk. I didn't make an argument like I knew what color the mayor was. He made a statement.
Why did you say this 70%? Because you said white people run it just because Darren Wilson ain't get.
Pump your brakes. He said. Why would black people vote for someone in a black town that didn't do anything for black people? And I said, look at Ferguson, Missouri. Ferguson, Missouri.
He got off.
There's a lot of other things going on with black people in Ferguson, Missouri.
And I'm saying that anybody even black run.
I mean, I would say that's one instance. That's one example.
I don't know if there's a correlation there though.
That's giving me apples and
oranges. So what are black people getting from the government in Ferguson?
Because in the same sentence, you could say the same thing about right here, where police get off for killing black people often in DC, and there's a black mayor, and she supposedly don't do nothing for black people, and she's still here. And before that,
exactly.
It was somebody who did,
so
though.
that just goes to my point.
I know. I'm saying
people get elected in black towns all the time who don't do shit for black people.
But people do as well, is what I'm saying. I think it goes both ways.
I mean, I haven't seen.
Wasn't anti his point either, is what I'm saying. But
I haven't seen one since Mary Berry.
But she is a black person. The mayor currently is.
I find it.
I haven't seen one.
Ferguson mayor is a black Democratic woman.
Those are the worst.
You continue to crash and burn on this podcast, sir.
Especially if she hates her dad. Oh my God.
She might
fucking.
He's going to end up
prison rates going through the roof.
He's going to end up deleting this episode. I feel it.
No, I'm chilling.
You on strike 2 already.
Wait. Stop.
I'm chilling.
What about Ferguson, Missouri? Yeah, shit, it's a black woman.
I'm like, why did he shout it out?
What I'm saying, okay, so the mayor of Ferguson, Missouri,
and then
a do nothing mayor.
Oh, that's the do nothing mayor.
Andrew Gillum, do nothing mayor. Loser.
When he didn't know anything about his
gubernatorial
policies,
loser.
Nothing about his record. You giving me Sean Hannity vibes today. He's Trip Hannity today. Sometimes he has these episodes. Let's go to the next topic.
I mean, no, the funny thing is though, I mean, you don't really know much about this guy's record either. You can't really tell me anything that he done specific for us.
I tried to, but you gave me the Republican filibuster.
So no. My point is, when it comes to the black community,
what's your point?
And I want to get this straight. When it comes to the black community,
yeah,
my issue is that we deserve a leg up over others because of the work that we've already put in as a group.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you're talking about policies that give everybody a leg up, it doesn't do anything because we're already on the bottom. So if you're already on the bottom and everybody gets a leg up, you're just on the bottom of the leg up. You're on the fucking heel of the leg. It doesn't do anything.
So his girlfriend talked about those policies. I didn't talk about those policies.
Yeah, and I even understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is we talking about this man coming out. We not really talking about his policies right now. And so it wasn't specifically for black people that I was having a conversation about. I'm talking about this man coming out, and you also highlighted his black policies, which I get because that's your man.
Well, I mean, I was challenged.
This is his black policies.
I was challenged in that way. Like I didn't start getting at his record until I was challenged on it.
And you didn't know anything about his record.
I don't think you do either.
I definitely do. Because when I started talking about his record, I was like, "You gonna interrupt?" He said, "Yes, I am." We can run the tape back.
And then said he don't do
Remember, this is recorded.
I'm gonna get back from last week. I'm gonna get back from last week, man. Fuck you.
What happened last week?
You got 14 bricks right there. But now, all right, let's get on to the next topic, man. All right, well, we got Joe Budden.
Yep.
We got Joe Budden. Spazzes off on Charlemagne the God once again. Maria, I want to start with you.
Okay, so.
Oh, hold up, real quick. One of mine, all 10 people watching right now. The phone number is 914-205-5425. 914-205-5425. Call in, put your 2 cents in. Also, don't forget to like and share this video. Remember, we are also on YouTube. That's Straight Talk No Chase. That's Straight Talk, No Chase podcast on YouTube, as well as live on Facebook. Maria,
All right. So Joe Budden's been in the, in the news lately. Not, real news, but entertainment news. So apparently Charlemagne, the whole feud between him and Charlemagne has been going on. Well, not feud, but whoa.
My bad. Keep talking.
No, the whole thing with Charlemagne got I'm sorry, y'all. I just got distracted.
Bro, you could have said that on camera.
I already know, but it was pointless because I didn't want to interrupt her.
No, go ahead.
But I interrupted you anyway.
No,
Nothing. I just wanted to get pouring up without you talk. I wanted you to keep talking. I didn't want to have to interrupt you to say I'm about to pour up. That's all it was.
No.
Watching me pour
What are we
up.
drinking
There
today?
we
That
are.
shit
There we are.
distracted
We're
the hell out of
pouring
me.
up.
Okay.
Now keep talking.
Anyway, back to
Gold
the
Reserve.
So basically,
I don't know. It was so fancy. I wanted to see.
Charlemagne basically came back after Joe Budden killed him the last time of him saying that he don't know how to negotiate contracts or whatever. Basically came back that he is starting a network with Iheart, and it's supposed to be the Black Podcast Network for Black podcasters. And Charlemagne is basically gloating as if like he owns it. He, negotiating the deal. However, Joe Budden came back and really when I say he killed him, he killed him. He basically went into depth as far as Charlemagne sounding silly, looking silly about information about a situation that he don't even own. And the fact that he's sitting up there trying to go back and forth with Joe Budden is silly.
Well, I think it's also.
No. Go ahead.
I think it's also important to note why he was so upset, because he already did this once before. But what I think was very, very petty of Charlemagne was to try to, and I do believe Joe Budden. I think that iHeartRadio and Charlemagne the God put together that smear campaign against Joe Budden. Because the very next day after the first rant, now you got his ex-girlfriend on another iHeartRadio show talking about he beat me 20 years ago, or however long ago it was. Then you coming up with this chick and that chick, all of a sudden come out the woodworks talking about he's beating women. And none of this stuff can be proven, and none of this stuff really sounds true to me.
Is he said, she said.
Right. Second, you bring out a video, you show a clip of him joking about jerking off a dog, which is a bad joke, but it's a joke.
Right.
You bring out a joke about him jerking off a dog, the whole time you got jokes, or it didn't sound like a joke to me, but you have clips of you talking about you let your dog lick your nuts. So I don't know what I don't understand Charlemagne's angle here, but it's looking real we sick bossish. It's looking real we sick boss.
And that's the point that I feel like Joe Budden was really making, was that instead of him trying to compete with him, like collectively, like come together, like do that versus trying to fight each other, because that's what they want. And it's a mess. I felt like if y'all didn't see the clip, please watch it. Just look it up. Yeah, it's too long for us to show it.
I find it interesting. I haven't seen the Charlemagne pieces necessarily, but I find it interesting that I think Charlemagne's giving them real short clips while he's giving these whole full-on rants. And that's the only reason why I was saying earlier that I think Joe Budden's playing games with it. Like it's playing games not from a sense of he is not telling the truth. He's telling 100% the truth, and he's giving it from a perspective of ownership, not necessarily a worker. But at the same time, the amount of attention that he's giving it is the new way of cutting out the middleman. He knows how much he's worth, and he recognizes his value, and so he's giving all of this back and forth because it's also drawing attention and causing conversations like this one, and getting people to actually focus on not just his rivalry with Charlemagne, but him in general, so that they're able to make these moves. It's like if I used to have to get promo on Love and Hip Hop to get the attention and viewership that I get on all of the other shows, now I can cut that out by just being the entertainment in and of itself. And that's what I feel like he's doing, and it's drawing more attention to his podcast, and it's making his podcast even more valuable than it already was when it was a Spotify exclusive. So I mean, he's killing two birds with one stone and taking this approach. I feel like.
I don't think so. I disagree. I don't think so. If anybody knows and seen like what watched Joe's podcast from day one. He's always been like that. Lengthy, ranty, like it's raining.
You say lengthy?
Anyway, like he's always been like that. And
that would be a more "that's what she said" moment.
I know, but that's all we have.
Right.
We need to add that. That's what she said.
But I feel like it's more so not necessarily him trying to gain views or anything like that, but sending a message like, dog, first of all, you're not going to, slander my name or slander what it is that I'm really trying to do. I see what you're trying to do, and I'm just being honest and speaking the truth. And I feel like Joe's always been like that, so that's why I kind of like disagree to where you say that he like playing.
I think you're both right. I mean, I don't even necessarily think Kirk is disagreeing with you. I think he's just saying that he's monetizing off this beef because he knows people want to see his response. Yeah. Now, Kirk, you are wrong because Charlemagne is definitely spending time on this.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't seen it to know how long he's been
on his show, Brilliant Idiots. Him and I think this is what pissed off Joe even more.
That's how long they went into it. And
that dude,
it was a white man.
Oh my God!
It was a white man. He ain't like that.
Yeah, that
he wouldn't even say the Indian dude's name. For the record,
for he kept calling him Adam.
He kept Adam is Schultz, Andrew Schultz, and he was misquoting his name, but then he also wouldn't even say the Indian dude's name. He was just like, and the little Indian dude, like that's all he would say the entire time.
Does anybody even know his name?
No, I don't, and that's why I
watch that podcast.
He wasn't saying it.
I don't. Charlemagne's not funny to me, and I hate Andrew Schultz's guts. So I mean,
shout out to the Brilliant Idiots. Hey.
I mess with Charlemagne, but I don't think Andrew's funny at all, and I don't really want to watch
it.
So that's why I don't pay attention to the podcast.
I could take it or leave with Andrew. Charlemagne. I was appreciating Charlemagne's growth and trajectory over the last.
I'm not even gonna do it.
Yeah, because at that point
he was going to run that joint out today, but it was a good one. It would have followed.
It fit. Oh man. This podcast is devolving quickly. I can appreciate, his growth over the past 10 years, but at the same time, just when I think he's turning the corner, something like this happens. It's like, damn, like I feel like Tyra Banks, but I was rooting for you. Like the book was cool. I appreciated the book. I appreciate actually both of his books.
Man.
I like the book.
I appreciated his books. I appreciate it,
especially Black privilege.
Yeah, I appreciate him advocating for mental health for Black people, which we definitely need, and I appreciate that, right? But certain moves look funny when the light is shined on it. Look funny in the light because if you're on this whole Black excellence tip, if you on this whole "it's for us" movement, rule number one, you don't criticize your brother in public.
Especially with a white man.
You on a public platform with you know what I'm saying, where like Joe says that you work at and he's the boss of his shit and you're criticizing these things. Like it's so many things to talk about where you don't have to talk about this situation. And I think Joe was right when he says Charlemagne feels it's a competition when they're not on the same playing field.
Right.
I talk to my friends all the time about living an entrepreneurial life, right? It's a different type of lifestyle. Like every conversation, every meeting, everything, you thinking, is it a potential sale or not? Is it going to further you or is it going to take you backwards? Versus when you are hired by somebody, you go to work, you clock in, you clock out. Everything after that is your time, your fun, your business, whatever. As an entrepreneur, all time is business time. Any serious entrepreneur will tell you that. Every bar meeting, every outing is a chance to sell whatever you selling. It's a chance to do whatever you do. So having conversations with people who don't live that lifestyle, they don't even understand. They're not even on the same playing field. They're not even in the same mind frame. Like my friends be like, damn, bro, do you ever stop working? No, because I work for myself. I can't. Ain't no check coming if I just sit on the couch.
Right.
Ain't no check coming if I don't put the work in. Right? So people not in the lifestyle don't understand that, which baffles me about Charlemagne because you did write a book. You have your intellectual property. You're making money from that. You do got your own podcast. You're making money from.
He doesn't have his own podcast.
Yeah.
Brilliant Idiots. That's not his shit.
Nah.
Oh damn. Well, you participate.
I honestly would assume that same thing because out of all the people he could have chose to do a podcast with, you wouldn't choose to do it with Andrew Sauce if it was your thing. He cool with him, but they ain't.
I mean, it's iHeart.
Right.
It's clear.
So Brilliant Idiots is iHeart too. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know that. See, I did that. I say I just didn't know.
Yeah, I know, right? You can do that all the time. It's so easy just to do that.
So easy, just be like, I don't know.
I said I don't know today.
He did say he didn't know who Ferguson Man was.
After being pressed for 5 minutes.
Listen, I also told you I didn't know. I don't know Gilliam's part. I don't know. You're right.
He like, I do know who. I don't.
I just know they trash for black people.
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding.
So I think everybody who's examining this argument, like, you got to put your lenses on, right? From a boss and a worker. And Charlemagne is a phenomenal worker. A phenomenal worker. If I could trade places with him tomorrow, I would. Shout out to him, right? But he may not know the same struggle that I have working for myself for the last 5 years. He's been employed for the last 10 years, right? Not to say you don't got hustle, not to say you don't have grind, but it's different when you own your intellectual property, right? And you're not clocking in every day. He got to be at the radio station every day at 7 a.m. Rain, sleet, snow or shine, less at vacation day, right? So,
I mean,
he may not understand Joe Budden's perspective.
Joe and them show up when they want.
Yeah.
Twice a week. So, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think what's the worst part of this whole thing is the fact that he's bringing out this black wing of iHeartRadio, right? And as Joe referred to it, BET for iHeartRadio.
That was classic.
And it just goes to show you, man, like how much further a lot of us are thinking now. Because 10 years ago, we'd looked at something like that like progress. But at this point, we can see it for what it is. Yeah, okay, you have a bunch of black people that's going to be
perspective right there.
That's going to be a bunch of black people on TV who have their own content, who are making a little money from iHeart. But at the same time, iHeart's still standing there like this.
Owning your content.
Don't say that shit, nigga.
Oh, no. You can't say that. Oh, no. You can't say this. Oh, no. He's my friend. You can't say that. You know what I mean? So it's not really black. It's just
Joe had a great point. At the time when you have maximum leverage, Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club, at no other time will you have this amount of leverage to do your own thing and take all the support away from these networks and corporations and make your own shit. It is like, you don't need them to distribute anything. Like, it's enough money in that room between Charlemagne and Envy to build any infrastructure they need to distribute any content that they need.
Ever wanted to create again.
Yeah.
And then you like make literally the content and then you license it to the other people. You don't give your shit away. Like they, what they're doing. But they didn't. And if it wasn't other people doing it, we could say, well, maybe this just doesn't exist. Rogan did it.
I wonder how.
Like these people, they licensing their content.
I wonder how Angela Yee and DJ Envy feel about this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they started the Breakfast Club with him, and now it's Charlemagne owns 50%. Like, I don't know.
I mean, he's better than on the mic, so
yeah. I think they recognize that he really gets. That show gets the attention that it gets because of him, for real. It's not the two of them.
That shit would have folded if
nobody
he
pays attention to lip service.
But I mean, I guess you're right. I mean,
nobody pays attention to Envy on Hot 99.5 the last however many years.
DJ Envy don't give a fuck anyway.
If it wasn't for me, nobody wouldn't tune in to Straight Talk. It was not about.
Well, you can take these 10 motherfuckers with you out the door.
I've been kicked off better podcasts than this. But real talk, the writers on the wall, they know, like, they ain't interviewing Oprah, they ain't with Kanye, like, they ain't getting the type of interviews he's getting outside of the Breakfast Club and the type of looks he's getting. So they know who the star of the show is, which is no problem. Like, everybody play your role and everybody get paid. You feel me? So I think they were in it to just do a job. Now they making probably 7 figures from a job they never expected.
Yeah, and
so they like
so too. So for perspective's sake, it's a reason why Yee ain't left yet after like Gucci Mane went on both of them.
Yeah.
On Charlemagne's interview. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is clear. Like if that interview, after that interview aired, it was like they either are really like
getting paid.
They either getting paid enough that they want to keep doing this after they hear what Gucci Mane saying, or they are mad enough at they man that they like, yeah, we not even gonna mess with you because you shouldn't even have took an interview like this, knowing that we already beefing with him, and that's why you had to do this solo anyway. But he went in it already knowing probably no matter what he says,
but it was a great partnership. It was a great interview.
It was. It did what it's supposed to do, and that's the thing. Content, all of this stuff is made for people to view it. If you're going to get something that's going to get somebody to view it, that's more money in your pocket.
I noticed that
all of this is done about money.
I noticed that about the Breakfast Club though. They be in their feelings like shit.
Yeah,
it be shows where like
beefing. I'm sure they beefing.
DJ Envy like when Chris Rock was on there, he was like, I ain't showing up because I don't like Chris Rock. I'm like, these niggas, man.
I mean,
too much light skin energy, Trip.
Bro, if we work together,
hey, look, I ain't light skinned.
Look. Prime example. We worked together 3.5 years, and we had a lot of emotional moments on here.
Yeah, but that's not the personal.
So think about it. If they work 10 years together, and they work every day, we do twice a week, and back then once a week.
Point too.
Every day,
they ain't going nowhere.
5 days a week for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they know
you
what
might
they
just
got.
walk in the studio.
They know what they got.
This motherfucker today.
What they got.
Fuck are you looking at? The fuck.
I don't know. Me personally, I'm not an emotional person like that, so I don't just walk in a room like, oh, I'm tired of looking at you.
I don't know. You got pretty emotional on this podcast before.
It's a podcast.
He gets really flustered. He gets flustered.
It's a podcast.
What's the difference?
Get a little flustered.
That's what people want to see.
He get a little sweaty over there.
Yeah, man.
What I'm telling you. Andrew Gillum in the butt.
Everybody can't sit back like Kirk chilling.
Why not? It's like, man, you're right. Everybody can't do this.
It's got to be one nigga like that.
You're
one
not
nigga like
cool
you.
enough.
We all can't be cool in the back like, nigga, you talk first.
I'm like, hey, I hear what you talking about. I like some of both of them. I disagree with some of both of them. I feel you. We're going to chill out, though.
But nah, man, what else we got in the news, man? Anybody see this article about 32% of Americans, only 32% of Americans say they would actually take a coronavirus vaccine?
Because the Americans are also smartening it up.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the article blamed it on Trump.
So if
the article blamed it on Trump.
So I think if this poll was taken,
it might be Trump.
Maybe 2 to 3 months ago, before so much was revealed about what's true or wasn't true, or how it spreads, and like we have almost like a scientific understanding on how the coronavirus works, I think it would have been different, because most people understand now, all right, I may be asymptomatic, I don't have pre-existing conditions, so I'm not as susceptible. I think if they dug into that story, or dug into that poll, and they say, well, if you got pre-existing conditions, will you take the vaccine? Most people are like, hell yeah. If you got heart problems, if you got, like me, if you got asthma, if you got things that if you catch it, you'd be taking the fuck out.
So you would take the vaccine?
Yes, I would.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't take it either. I think 2-3 months ago, and I think right now the same answers would have happened. I think I agree with you a little bit though, that the answers have changed some with more time, but I think so because with more time came more people stepping out into these streets and realizing that everybody's tripping. It's something going on, but it ain't going on what we think is going on, and so we can be out here and be safe. And so as long as people are out here safe, they're like, what am I taking a vaccine for? Because I've already experienced the real world, and look, I'm still here. So I think that's what's kind of keeping people away more so than. I do think it's the time, like you said, but I don't think it's the reason behind the time.
But then it would fly in the face of why so many people take the flu vaccine every year, right?
I don't.
Yes.
I think people tripping.
I didn't say y'all did.
Yeah, I know. But
the amount of people who take the flu vaccine, because has anybody caught the flu in here?
I never caught the flu.
I caught it the 1 year I took the vaccine.
It's no fucking joke. Like, you're fucked up when you catch the flu. Like, you lose a week of your life. Like, you're fucked up most times when you catch the flu. So most people who've actually caught the flu, like, they're like, I'll take it because they've been through the fire, they've been through the pain. People who never caught the flu, like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, until you catch the flu, you be like, oh, I don't want to go through that again. Like, so.
But the nigga took the shot and caught the flu.
That's why I would never do it again. I haven't done it since.
And you take
it was one
vaccines
random
for
year
your
I
body
was
to
working in
produce
corporate America. They
antibody.
giving you the flu shot for free. I'm like, all right,
I don't want
give me
nothing for
that.
free,
I
bro.
took that
No
joint.
thanks. I'm
and
good.
But you can't say
it was
100.
out.
You can't say
That it was
100%.
that did it, but yeah, you can't.
You can't
But
say
that's literally
100%.
The only year I've ever taken the flu shot.
But you can't say 100% that because you took it that year, that's because you caught the flu.
right, it's not 100%.
You could have kissed the
But it's
girl
about
that year.
98.
You was
Not
at the
kiss
club.
That sound like mama.
At the end of the night,
So
you
what
was
the
like,
fuck I
baby,
tell you?
Right.
you smooshed her at the end of the club.
So what you take
and
the
she
shot
had
for?
the flu.
But coincidence tells me that
She had the super strain. That you know it's a
Super
thought
strain.
strain of the flu, right?
Jesus.
It's called thought flu.
coincidence tells me that.
But just in general, I think if you dig into the numbers of that poll, you might find some different numbers. And then if it was on the heels of Donald Trump hit the story coming out that he knew that how deadly the vaccine was, or no, I'm sorry, deadly the coronavirus was.
I'm gonna
I like where you going.
But
with
telling people that, you know, don't worry about it. But in private, he was having different conversations. After you hear that, why would you trust the government? Why would you trust anything that they put out
Here's
to
a-
take a coronavirus vaccine?
Poll. Number of Americans willing to get COVID-19 vaccine falls to new low amid fears Trump is putting politics before safety.
Well, he is.
So I don't understand how that makes sense though.
Do you dispute he's putting politics before safety?
Oh, he's definitely putting politics before safety.
Okay. So it's like,
But what I'm saying is,
I think there's
I don't think that has
reasons
anything to do with people not wanting the vaccine. You know
I
what
mean, think about this, right?
I think people
I
don't want the
think-
vaccine and they need somebody to blame it on.
I think if he put politics ahead of safety and you thought that was the case, it would make you want the vaccine more. That's why I feel what you're saying. Because it's like, all right, we got a reckless president out here who he knows who has a virus that can kill us out here, and he's not doing enough about us to stop it. So maybe I need to take this vaccine because that's going to help stop it. Versus I don't need to take this vaccine because, or are you saying whatever presidential power is in place is automatically
I ain't taking
government?
I ain't taking shit before the November election because whatever the fuck comes out before November, he like chloroquine, Clorox, sunlight, nigga. He throwing shit at the wall.
like
Whatever
that.
sticks.
I like sunlight though.
Yeah,
I think sunlight does.
Yeah,
Sunlight was genius.
whatever
It
he's
was ultraviolet.
Hey,
light,
look,
which
whatever
he also
sticks,
said,
he's
too.
throwing all shit at the wall and see whatever sticks to get elected. So I don't blame people for like, nah. If they come out with a vaccine February 1st, I'll trust it more than if it came out November 25th, November 24th.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
That's what's up. All right, so look, forgot about this, man. Just want to reiterate on a popular idea that I bring on the show sometimes about listening to rappers and entertainers.
Yeah.
Did you guys see this shit about T.I.?
Did you listen to 3-6 this week?
No, I did not.
Okay.
What 3-6 do this week?
No, he's just
He always listens to 3-6 Mafia.
Okay,
in
never mind.
his week in his car all week,
thought
and then
they
he
finally
comes
had
on
the
here and
verses.
talks about.
Does anybody
rappers.
remember the
When I-
Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 verses that was supposed to happen, and then Versus said they were going to take it over so that it could happen, and then it never happened?
I would have been lit.
Yeah, it was about to be good. It was going to happen, and literally a couple
Yeah,
hours
Bone
before it
and
was like
3-6
ready
though.
to go, Versus stepped in and was like, "We
They
want to
probably
make it an
couldn't
official
play.
Versus."
They probably couldn't pay DJ Paul and
I just don't
Juicy
like that
J
it didn't
enough.
happen because that was the best one. that was about to
Bone
happen.
kind of fell off. Bone kind of fell
I
off.
know so.
they would have wiped the floor. They would have wiped the floor with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
After it didn't happen, DJ Paul went and had a 2-hour 3-6 set that went crazy by itself. So So imagine adding some Bone Thug songs in there.
Yeah, he would have murdered. They would have murdered him.
They probably didn't have enough money for him.
When I say listening to rappers, I wasn't talking about listening to their music. I'm talking about listening to these fools politically.
Clarify yourself.
So T.I.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Reparations should be getting loans from the Lloyds of London. Mr. T.I.
It's tip to you.
I don't know them officers. Y'all remember when he said that?
I do know that.
I don't know them officers.
Hit the 14 bricks.
You got 14 bricks right there?
But look.
Quit you off, eh?
Yeah, man, but look, B. Once we get my
motherfucker
back, man, we right the fuck back on, baby. We right the fuck back on once I get Sunny. It's gonna be busy.
So look, so T.I. is in hot water with the SEC right now. And no, that doesn't mean the Southern Eastern Conference of the NCAA.
No, it does not.
You're supposed to be out there.
He doesn't have beef with the Florida Gators. No, T.I. is in hot water with the federal government, the Securities Exchange Commission. So T.I. was apparently promoting a Bitcoin, what do you call it?
Yeah, I was about to say Bitcoin.
A cryptocurrency
Bitcoin?
company that was about to introduce a new coin. So T.I. was apparently telling people that he was part owner. We hear that a lot, don't we?
Sounds like Fire Festival with
Telling people he was part owner.
Sounds like Charlemagne the guy with Iheart.
And pumping people to buy on his Twitter and Instagram page to buy this coin. Come to find out, it was a fraudulent coin. And now the SEC has launched an investigation. I think most recently, he ended up settling for $75,000.
And 5 years off of trading
Right.
coins.
Right. But the reason why I think this is relevant.
Slap on the wrist.
The reason why I think this is relevant is because, once again, these people are not activists. These people are not political scientists. Maybe they might have our best interest at heart, but they're just not correct in doing it. And they don't really need to be at the forefront of any movements, because these are the type of things that they're getting into on the side. I mean, a lot of people got ripped off with this shit. A lot of his followers are black, and a lot of people bought into this coin because they're thinking that they're going to get some type of financial freedom by listening to T.I. buying this bullshit ass coin. They bought it,
So
they
what
wasted
you
their money.
saying is Ice Cube is T.I.?
I'm not saying Ice Cube is T.I.
All right, I was checking.
But I will say this. That land shit in Scotland that Ice Cube was selling was definitely some bullshit. So all I'm saying is just be mindful of the people.
He's lord of his land.
It's like 10 square feet. It's 10 square feet of land.
He the Lord though.
That's all that
And
is.
the Scottish government already came out and said we are
Scotland
not honoring any dubious lords
He's
and
a
ladies.
Scottish lord.
They ain't gotta honor it.
He's
first of
the
all,
lord of that land.
They illegitimate.
First of all, why would you? Why do you want to be a Scottish lord?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Have you guys seen the video?
You gotta reverse.
I didn't get it either, but-
It's reverse colonization.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, but you still paying them.
Why not?
You still paying them.
So lose. Forget it.
For now.
Back to T.I.
For now.
But
What did he
anyway,
do? Oh,
T.I., Ice Cube, all of these niggas. Like, I'm just saying, just be careful.
all these niggas.
Be careful who your activist is, man. You know, if they have no background in anything political or anything dealing with the economy, then I would just support their music. You know what I mean? And keep it moving.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. We're podcasters, right? And I want you to listen to my political opinion, right? So
Straight
what
up.
do
I'm not a rapper, but
what do we have, or our credibility is more than a rapper, right? We have an educated opinion that we want to give to the public. Right?
I can tell you one
The
thing.
pub-
hold on before you say anything, because I want to piggyback on this.
Yeah.
This is the main point of why I be trying to understand why he's always so dismissive of people who we haven't necessarily clarified be suspect. Like, yeah, they might be suspect, but suspect is just a suspicion. It don't mean that they're actually like on
That's
that
his-
other side yet.
that's his stick.
And here's the thing: if I let's say I had some type of like backing out of nowhere and was like all the causes that I've represented and so on and so forth seem to be like solid. You mess with it, right? I'm not gonna change that if I suddenly got some bread. But if I suddenly got some bread, what I stand behind and what I'm trying to accomplish might not. There's a big gap between that, because you gotta recognize there's a place where you're trying to get. There's a dream, there's a reality, and there's a gap in between there, right? So knowing that gap exists, I wouldn't want somebody to think that just because I ain't there yet, I'm not gonna get there, or I'm not trying to get there, or I'm like not even for my people, because in between that gap there's some shady shit going on, because I might have taken this wrong deal or that wrong deal, or not even taking no wrong deal. You just might think it's the wrong deal because you don't know enough about the goddamn deal.
You know they call that, Kurt?
Hold up. I'd like to respond
What?
to Kurt.
Hypocrisy.
So Kurt,
Give your response. Let's hear your hypocrisy today.
Now let me ask you this.
Sorry, now I'm fucking with you. When you about to say something about me, understand that you also don't know these niggas before they get that bread that you talking about, or any of these other things.
Hear me out. You've shared a lot of different YouTube videos with me. A lot of them strongly based in conspiracy. So you know about the conspiracies surrounding Hollywood and all of this shit, right? Now, the reason why I look at a lot of these rappers and entertainers a little sideways is because of who cuts their paychecks. Okay? The reason why I would listen to you over Ice Cube is because you don't get a paycheck
from the conspiracy nigga.
You don't get a paycheck from the Hollywood elites. You don't get a paycheck from big name record labels. You don't have any ties to those type of people. So understand, when Ice Cube speaks to black people, he still got to protect his ties to the elites. If we succeed, they fail. So why would Ice Cube really be leading us in the right direction? Why would T.I. really be leading us in the right direction?
So where do you consider the elite? Hold on, I want to give you an example.
T.I. owes these people his life.
Where do you consider the elite?
He's supposed to be doing 10 years
So
in
like
jail.
if Apple gave us a check tomorrow, you wouldn't take it? Do you not consider Apple one of those elites that you're like questioning?
It depends on the circumstances behind the check. It depends on what the circumstances behind the check. I'm not a fool. If Apple said I give you $10 million to do straight talk, no chase, nigga, we taking that $10 million.
They're gonna keep doing it.
So would that invalidate your opinion because you're getting paid by the elites?
And that's what I'm saying. There might be certain things that they say you can no longer say on Straight Talk No Chase with this $10 million. You gonna say those things and not take the $10 million?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
I'm not gonna say it no more and take the $10 million.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If Apple cuts me a $10 million check tomorrow
and says you can't say A, B,
don't listen to shit else I say. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to shit else I say.
That's also real. I understand. Okay.
At least you sold out with integrity.
But see, here's the thing though. Here's the thing, right? Ice Cube doesn't have to jump in this situation. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He could be quiet and he could secretly donate to people who really could make a difference. He could do that.
What if you do both?
So doing both contradicts himself, because what he's doing and what T.I. is doing is not really on par with what our experts are saying should happen. Okay? They're coming up with their own little thing. And all of this is really about the influx of black folks who are now waking up and seeing that this political system is flawed on both sides. So all of these little celebrity ideas and activists that's popping up out of nowhere are being sent to combat that.
I feel like Ice Cube though is literally saying don't give your vote away to either side.
He is saying that. He is saying
getting
that.
something. So
I'll give him
that don't sound like that's co-opted. That sounds like that's what you trying to do too.
But see,
he just ain't doing it the way you trying to do it.
But you can't.
Everybody not
Hold
gonna
on.
do the same.
And Kirk, I hear you there. So I'm not going to throw all the way. I'm not going to throw Ice Cube all the way in the trash. I'm not going to throw him all the way in the trash. But I will say that there are some severe mistakes in his contract for Black America. He should rescind it, consult with the experts, and then reintroduce it to the public. I'll say that.
So why I respect?
You can't have a contract for Black America with Native Americans in there, because they don't have shit to do with us.
Well, I say this. I think Ice Cube plan needs some adjusting, but I respect Ice Cube and I will never shit on him. Just like I don't believe Charlemagne should be interfering in Joe Budden's business for the same reason. He shot his shot. He can readjust. He can learn but he's actually taking action, right? He's doing something that he didn't have to do. He's rich enough to just sit back. Like, if he didn't make another deal, movie, nothing, he's good, and 2 generations is good of his family. But he feels he's called to make a difference with black people.
Like I said, no disrespect.
Hold on, can I tell
respect
you also why you say you can't make a contract with Black America and include Native Americans and dispel that real quick? I'm not even going to dispel it from a perspective that you're wrong. I'm going to just say, like, let's also put myself in Ice Cube's shoes as someone who, after literally my last day of working in corporate America, the very next day I took a trip to South Dakota, went on Native American reservations, all that good stuff, met with these people, talked to these people, so on and so forth. I would make a contract that excluded them, but I could also understand making one that included them, because when you're talking about going up against this government, which is what you're talking about doing, as far as us getting the things that we have rightfully earned, they could also play the more the merrier.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
So let me answer
without going too deep, the more the merrier, and you understand what I'm trying to say.
It's raining.
I knew it was coming.
Funny as shit. But
so
what I was saying is, they don't have to get what we're getting. We can say
let me
Black
respond.
Americans should get A, B, and C. Native Americans should get A and B. We have different plights, so we can't be fighting for the same thing. I think they also understand that. I think instead of saying all these different areas are divisive and divided, and let's stop trying to like cater to them and whatever, we should find the middle ground and the mutual ground of all of these areas and fight against that one thing that we're all trying to go against, because they fucked all of us over.
Okay.
Even though they fucked us all over differently,
So
and we do have the worst of that plight that, like you already know and say every week.
So here's what it is, though. The Native Americans are in lobbying in court and in Congress every day to get things that they're owed. A lot of times
Without worrying about us.
and they
I
do not
recognize
include black. As a matter of fact,
So I think we should do the same thing, but I think we should also combine what we trying to do.
No.
together.
The Treaty of 1866, right, says that the Native Americans are supposed to break us off the shit that they got post Reconstruction. It's black people that were descendants of slaves that were enslaved by Indian tribes, fighting for what they deserve from these people every day, and they're being denied. I just posted an article on my Facebook page the other day about how the Cherokee Nation is denying the black descendants of the Cherokee Nation, who descended of the slaves that they owned, access to the tribal benefits that they deserve. Like, these people don't fuck with us. I want to make that clear. They don't fuck with us.
You make it clear.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not out here to play kumbaya and hold hands with a bunch of people who ride our backs and take from us and don't give back. Those days are over. So what I'm saying about Ice Cube is no disrespect to him. I'm just saying he doesn't really understand the scope of what he's trying to accomplish right now. He doesn't understand how important it is to separate ourselves as Black Americans when it comes to politics and benefits, because these are things that we're owed, and these are things that other people take advantage of us for. Everybody's got their hand in the pot when they're handing out benefits based on the things that were gained in the Civil Rights Act. But when it comes to us, or when it comes to these other groups getting things set aside for them, they don't include us. They don't include us at all. Latinos don't include us. Asians don't include us. Indian Americans don't include us. Native Americans don't include us. So all I'm saying is, we don't have to include them. And it's no love lost. I can still go be friends with a Native American at the same time, just politically, just stay the fuck out my face.
I think it's I agree with you, and it's high time for black people to stop being the moral compass of America.
Facts.
And trying to save everyone else, because I can't dispute that when it's time for us to be advocated for in a significant way, not just lip service, not just walk down the street with us, but real policy, real boots on the ground, real tangible things. A lot of people are missing. It's good to see a lot more people this year in coronavirus, because people ain't got shit to do.
Yeah.
But historically, they have not shown up for us how we showed up for everyone else, from the Women's March to the whatever march. That was black people were the moral compass and moral leaders of these marches. And Martin Luther King talked about this a lot, of black people being the moral compass of the US. And once they decided that they really didn't want anything to do with us, the US would fall, because we were keeping this country on the right path. We were keeping this country afloat. And once they decide that they don't need us anymore, this country is going to fail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't even have barbecue without black.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the basic
I
things.
agree 100%, and I'm not even. I'm still. I mean, I feel the same way. I feel neither here nor there. I'm saying like I disagree, but I'm just saying like I feel you. I think that we should approach it from a perspective of we're trying to get it ourselves as well, because everybody else is trying to get it themselves, and they don't include us. But I do think you put more pressure on that government in general when you find when they see that you have more backing. And the more people that you find, and more, not even people, the more things you find in common, the more backing you have, because the more people want to fight for your cause, the same way you want to fight for theirs, so on and so forth.
I hear you.
Y'all tired of fighting for their cause. I get all of that, so on and so forth.
We've gone
but
through years
even,
of this
hold
stuff.
on, fuck that. Even piggybacking on what you just said, it seems like there's more people who are paying more attention because of COVID and so on and so forth. I don't want to like change topics, but this also brings me to the point that like football started this week. And the one thing that distracts niggas more than anything is football.
I didn't watch one game.
I'm tired.
I
like
caught some of the,
I'm tired of
Cowboys
fucking
at the end of the day,
this
but I ain't seen
coalition
nothing
shit,
else.
right? Because we got the numbers. If we really think about, and this kind of goes back
It's
to the
so
conversation
wild,
of
right?
last week, like we have numbers
With
and
or
if,
without these
yeah,
people,
and if
yeah.
we really just focus on ourselves, we don't need coalitions of other people. We don't need coalitions with this group, that group, or whatever group. But we have to have self-confidence, right? As black people, we need to be confident enough that we are enough. We deserve what we deserve, and we need to get what we deserve. And I think that is the things that's holding us back in our community is our self-confidence, right? Because we're beaten down from a young age to understand that, okay, we're not enough. We don't belong. We don't have a seat at the table when we really do. We built the table. So the awareness of our self-confidence and our self-worth needs to be, boosted. That's the coalition we really need.
Do
The
you
coalition
think that's
amongst black people.
I'm not even trying. Do you think that's a just black people problem, or do you think it's specifically? I'm only speaking on black and Native American people right now. I don't even care about anybody else.
Well, I'll take a page out of the Trip Simpson book. We're only talking about black people. I want to know what we're going to do for black people. So I think we don't, when it comes to black people's self-confidence, why I think knowledge of self and history and things are so important, because our people lack confidence. They lack a sense of strength, a sense of self, right? If you've been conditioned from the media, from your school teachers, from your neighborhood police, everything that you're not enough, you're not worthy, or you don't belong, you tend to internalize that shit. You think I don't belong, when in all actuality, this is your shit. You've been here, you built this shit. This is your shit, and you do belong, and you do have the power. You do have enough confidence to get any of these things done. Even in America, where we're only 13% of the population, like
Allegedly.
it's really like 20 something.
I think it's more than 13% because we also don't fill out the census.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like
that's important.
23 to 25%, honestly.
But I just wanted to talk about your point specifically because, like, this is just playing devil's advocate. Native Americans have a big suicide issue. I think we do share a suicide issue in general, but I think more than our suicide issue, we kill each other, and I think that ties into the lack of self-confidence and self-awareness and everything that you're speaking to. But
I don't.
Yeah, I don't
only
either.
I disagree.
I think it is, because if you cared more about yourself and expected to have a longer, more successful, more important, more relevant life, you wouldn't even spend time going about trying to kill your brother or
Hold up.
sister.
I'd like
disagree.
to interject. So that's not really fair to say.
Okay.
Because when you subject a group of people to generations and generations of poverty, and everybody's fighting for the same scraps in that one little dingy ass apartment complex, you're gonna have people killing each other,
But what
hurting
you're
each other.
doing is explaining the reason behind it versus explaining that it exists. I'm not trying to clarify the
It
reason.
exists.
We know the reason already.
Right, it exists.
What I'm saying is, now that we know the reason, what is it that's causing these people to do it right now? And granted, it's
telling you,
historical
the same
context.
shit.
Yeah, it's historical context and all this and that. But what
That's
I'm
not
saying,
historical.
It's happening right now.
That's every day.
People are
I'm not
impoverished right now.
disagreeing with y'all.
You sound like you are.
but I'm not. I'm telling you as someone who lived these circumstances, be in these circumstances, experience these circumstances, be around people who've experienced those same circumstances. I'm not saying like y'all aren't, but what I'm saying is you recognize that there's something that's going to have to solve this problem, and simply handing somebody some reparations isn't going to solve the problem because there's still a mental strain over years and years that you have to fix. So what is it that lives out that mental strain? How do you cure that mental strain? How do you resolve it other than just handing somebody a check, because that's not going to do it.
You want to take this one? I'll take you take this one.
The biggest mental strain in a capitalist society is not having capital.
No money.
Right? So reparations, see, the check
hold
is
on. Before y'all go too far, because I
no.
don't want you to waste your breath. I haven't said don't give the check. I'm saying what else do you do to solve the problem other than giving a check?
Well, you kind of changed your argument really quick.
No, I didn't. I said that just now, and y'all was so busy. Do you want to say it or do you want to say it that you ain't hear? That's exactly what I just said.
God.
I just said other than giving the check, because the check is the part of the solution.
You said a check just ain't gonna cut it. That's what you said.
I said a check isn't the only solution. You just giving the check isn't going to change anything, because as you say every week, if you hand them the check but don't change the way that they think, the check is going to go to waste. So what I'm saying is I haven't said anything different than what you're saying.
So you're saying the check
is necessary. Reparations is important. I'm not disagreeing with you. You already know that. Reparations is important. Give the check.
So the check isn't the only solution.
Check, how do you also fix the mindset? Because the mindset, if you hand somebody a check, they're going to go blow the bread on some bullshit. Everybody's not. But half of that 13% that we're talking about, because when you want to go on and talk about,
I wouldn't say half.
Hold on, because you don't got to say half. You're absolutely right. When we talk about the 13% that isn't counted, is we want to add 7%. The piece that's not counted are the piece that I'm telling you. If you actually got a check out or got a check to them, they gonna blow it. They're the same people that aren't actually filling out the census. They're the same people that aren't actually counted. So if you want to say allegedly 13%, then let's pay attention to the allegedly that we talking about that don't actually get accounted for, because those are the people where if you actually gave them a check, which they wouldn't even get one because they aren't accounted for, but if you gave them a check, how the fuck would they spend it and where the fuck would they go and do with it?
This don't got shit to do with the census, number one.
I'm not saying it does.
I want to
stay focused on what we were just talking about, because y'all were going to talk about some other shit.
I am not compassionate when it comes to politics, right? I'm all about strategically making the group better. So, to be honest with you, if we all get checks, there's going to be some people that blow the money, but there's going to be casualties to every war. There's going to be bodies on the ground, period. But what the check does is it gives our group a unprecedented boost. So the people who are educated but got $300,000-$400,000 worth of student loans, and they got bills here, bills there. They live decent. You know what I mean?
I recognize that.
They have that boost. Now we can pull our money together. We can start our own businesses and corporations. We can hire our own people. We can start our own schools. It trickles down. So the people that blow their check, they're gonna blow their shit. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, every African group, whoever got paid, the Eskimos, the Chinese, you got people who gonna blow that. They gonna blow the money.
The point of the reparations is to boost our social economy of our group. Yes, there will be casualties. It's a damn war. Somebody got to die. Somebody got to go.
PPP is the prime example. It's niggas who bought Lamborghinis and made
some people who actually invested in their business.
And there's some people who are gonna come out of this shit and have and establish generational wealth, right? Like PPP did a small leveling of the playing field. They didn't realize how smart black scammers were. The black scammers got a big chunk of that.
To your point, Kirk, to your point, like you said, a lot of niggas didn't get counted on the census. Yeah. A lot of niggas with black businesses didn't even fill the shit out.
Yeah, I'm not knocking.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like niggas didn't even fill it out.
So people,
like, you got a business and you didn't fill. They giving it away.
Yeah. So like, and this is the thing. It showed the ability of the American government to print money when needed with no interest. They printed trillions of dollars.
$6 trillion. $6 trillion
with no interest. So if anything that happened, the argument for reparations was boosted exponentially because their main arguments: we don't have the money, we can't afford it. Yeah, we can't afford it. So when we talk about why we don't need a coalition, it's they got like Native Americans, not saying the casinos were enough payment for what they went through, but they got that, right? Some tribes got the casinos and thrived. Some tribes got it and blew it, fucked their money up, right? Like he's saying, that's going to be a casualty of it. We need to get our money to be able to even make that decision, how we're going to do it,
right?
How we're going to break it up. If we fuck it up and it all fucks up, so be it. We still need ours to fuck it up. I don't think we are.
I personally don't even like being compared. I don't like being compared to Native Americans because number one, Native Americans got fucked over. But Native Americans, what have they done to actually build the infrastructure of this country? What have they done?
Buffaloes.
They got rampaged and they got their land stolen.
TPs.
And they let all the buffaloes get killed.
Y'all niggas wild.
And to top it off, all the 5 civilized tribes, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand, like, 15 to 20% of each of these tribes, right, were black slaves that they owned? Like, the numbers in the Cherokee Nation were comparable to Tennessee's slave to white person ratio. You understand that?
Yeah.
Like, these are not our friends. We just feel sorry for any and everybody.
I'm still not trying to make them our friends. What I'm saying is there's strength in numbers. If you're gonna sit here and
they ain't
argue,
got no numbers.
If you sit here and argue with 13%, you don't either. And so
I think
combine two people who ain't got numbers, guess what you got?
Bro,
I don't want fake numbers though.
You got at least right, because on paper, 47 million black people in this country. 40 million of such are native black Americans. 40 million, right? There's only 7 million Jewish people in this country. And look how much influence they have.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
And to Tripp's point,
what I'm saying is, so now when you talk about your 40, how much of that 40 are in positions of that 7 million of Jewish people?
But it's a reason why.
And there's a reason why. And I'm not saying that there isn't. So what I'm also saying is when you get your reparations that y'all keep advocating for so much, because I advocate for them too, I agree they need to exist. They need to happen. What are you going to do with the rest of that million that ain't even matching your 7 million of Jewish people? Because you will get them when you hit the reparations. You'll probably double the 7 million of Jewish people. You get 14 because we talking about 40. But out of that other 30 of those people, are we just like casting them to the wayside?
So this is the thing.
But are we saying we're gonna leave more than half? We saying fuck all of them when you really could actually save half of that half that you trying to leave.
So if
by
I had
just giving some type of financial literacy, just giving some type of resources, just giving some type of education behind financial literacy too. We're acting like that's too difficult of a task. Give me my millions so that I can get my reparations and fuck everybody else.
So if I had to make
why are we fucking everybody else when we can actually?
It's raining men.
Oh shit! It did it to us.
When we can actually
coming out, Kurt?
Go ahead. When we can actually be saving some more of the people that we just talking about casting off by the wayside. That's my only question. That's my main question.
My thing is like, if we're talking about reparations in a significant way, let's say I was the leader of the country and I'm giving out reparations, right? I'm telling black people, some people are gonna do their thing, right? They're gonna blow it on whatever. I'm telling them, get your guns and buy business, right? Because inevitably the reparations is gonna bring us to a point where we can actually compete in the economy. That's the main thing that reparations is gonna do as a whole. That it's gonna be influxing cash in the black community where business can be started, where we have capital to buy houses, buy land, buy things that we were doing prior to Reconstruction, a little bit after the Civil Rights Movement, during those times where black progress was sabotaged, right? We need to build an economic base, right? So once we do that, we can say, hey, we need our own networks, because one of the things that damages black people so much, we don't control our own image. We don't control how the media portrays us. We don't control our music. We don't control our art. And that influences black people in a negative way exponentially, right? So we can take control of our image, our art, our narrative, number one. Number two, we can actually own some of the things that we're fucking with, right? We can own a television station. We can own a fire department. We can own a school, own a hospital. If niggas is really savvy, we can own a militia, build our own defense mechanisms, right? Without capital, you can't do none of that shit, right? It's a reason why some of these militia groups can do the things that they do. They're funded, right? We don't got funding. It's usually 2 to 3 rich motherfuckers in every little pocket of Black America or Black people that is leading us economically. But let's say that 2 people turn into 50 people, to 100 people. Exponentially, how will we be able to progress if I didn't have to make a decision between feeding my family or defending my family? Because a lot of Black men have to make that decision every single day. Do I defend my family? Do I stand up as a Black man? Do I hold my shoulders high? Do I press against white supremacy? Or do I feed my family? Do I regress back? Do I take my aggression back? Do I temper myself to be able to make a living, go to my job, and be able to feed my family? When we have economic freedom, we don't have to choose from feeding and defending. Right now, it's too many Black men in America who have to make that choice, and I don't blame them, right? If it comes down to you getting killed out in the street, defending your honor, defending the honor of Black people, and you know your wife and children are going to starve, and you choose not to, it's set up. The system is set up for you to make that choice. Some men make it, some men don't. But I don't blame the men that don't make it.
I'll say this to answer your question, Kirk. If I was in charge of dispersing reparations or a reparations plan,
reparations king.
Two major things I would add in there, and I'm pretty sure I'm leaving a whole bunch of shit out. One thing is mandatory life insurance policies, because that way, even if
mandatory, that's wild.
Even if okay, even if you fuck off your reparations, at least your kids aren't fucked. You smell me? So mandatory life insurance. And okay, so let's rewind maybe 40, 50 years ago, right? When the communist Chinese government was emerging, right? A lot of the American corporations saw potential in China because of the billions of people there, right? So the Chinese government recognized that. So you know what they did? They said, okay, y'all can come over here to China and y'all can do business. But you gotta turn it down, it's on the mic. So what the Chinese government said is, okay, boom, you come over here, you wanna do business. Let's use the car companies, for example, right? Ford, if you wanna come over here and do business, you gotta hire Toyota, right? You gotta split everything 50-50 with them, and you gotta let them in on all your board meetings and let them know everything you're doing. And you can do business over here. 2 decades of that, Toyota's outselling everybody. And Ford didn't have no choice because they want to sell shit in China. You see what I'm saying? Something like that needs to be implemented as far as Black people and getting contracts for business. You're gonna have to include us in business contracts. And lastly, with the reparations being the heartbeat, the cash money check, the life insurance coming, the business contracts coming, then you have access to low interest loans, which I think I was going back and forth with somebody on Facebook about that the other day. And my only point was you need the cash first. So you got cash, you got your life insurance set up. If you're doing good business, they have to do business with you. And lastly, access to low interest business loans. I think that's everything we need to move forward. Maria, what do you think? You ain't said shit in like an hour.
What were we talking about? Y'all, sorry.
Hold on, you ain't even been drinking on this show.
No, I haven't.
She thinking about that date from the other day.
Shut up.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I'm kind of hungry. Maybe I'll call him back.
That's your stomach growling now.
You gotta understand, it's not a date, but you're paying for everything.
We ain't even talking about that. We just need reparations, man. I agree with you. I agree with y'all. I agree with what y'all said. That's it.
Maria with the bomb. All right, on that note, I think it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen.
Final thoughts?
Yes.
The earliest final thoughts I ever got. I'm
Is
proud
it?
of y'all.
I feel like
It's
we like
late.
an hour
Nah,
in.
we about 2 hours.
That's
2
it.
hours
They're usually
in.
2
We
hours.
about 2 hours in, cuz.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
but we only at hour 46. Usually we well than 2. I take this hour 46. I'm not complaining. We good. Come on.
I hear that.
I was about to say change the music, Trip.
New beat.
Actually, we've used this before.
Just like the same beat every week.
Captain Kirk.
The same 2 every week.
I
Remember?
be switching them up, but y'all just don't pay attention.
Let's see. Hold on.
Oh, he needs to.
My man Andy Gillum. Andy Gump Gillum. That's what we gonna call him. You don't gotta be a Gump to be gay. That's not what we're talking about. Andy Gump Gillum. So,
Lord.
my man. Got the R&B groove over the R&B groove.
That's the gospel, cuz.
Yo, I cannot with Trip in the sound.
He wasn't afraid to have it.
Yeah.
Dog.
Long story short, my man
It won't
lost
work.
and then took another major L when he wanted to get gangbanged. And so
God damn, almost wasted my scotch.
I get that it was drugs and sex involved, just like Marion Barry, but Marion Barry was the mayor at the time. He didn't just lose an election, and he came back and won another. Your man
He knew his
Andrew
crowd.
here took a L and then took another L, so I don't got him coming back from this one. I get, you know, you can co-opt the whole narrative and all that other good stuff, and he did it, and he tried it, and I think he's doing a good job at it because that narrative that he's trying to co-opt seems to be on his team very heavily right now, unfortunately. But I mean, it's life. Do your thing. If you want your narrative co-opted, go ahead, let it happen. But Andy, got to do better. I wouldn't vote for him. So if he ever runs for president, after getting that government job, be like, hey, remember when Andy was
Gangbanging out there.
Smoking meth.
Smoking meth.
It's like, nah, that's our black brother. So maybe I would. I don't know.
Hey,
we
my
gonna see.
motherfucker, bro.
We gonna see. What was the next topic? I can't see it today.
Joe Budden.
Oh, Joey, my man Joey. I support Joe Budden and everything that he's doing here on out. Unless he starts to, be shady in the light like Charlemagne. Because I thought I was going to support Charlemagne from here on out too, but I don't support him right now. He's being very questionable. I don't like how he brought the attention back to the two of them to his podcast. He then went from discussing it amongst the black community to discussing it with his white friends on Brilliant Idiots. I think he's making a lot of bad moves here, but own your stuff at the end of the day. It's no difference than me repping this Nats Academy hoodie while I also own Infinite Evolution. And it's no difference than Cool J and a Gap commercial. I don't know if you heard that part because of the bomb, but it's no difference than LL Cool J and a Gap commercial rapping about FUBU. He ain't own FUBU though. But at the end of the day, do what you gotta do for yourself while you also playing the game with these people, because you gotta play the game and do for your people at the same time.
Facts.
And what was the last one?
T.I.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about T.I., man.
Oh.
We touched a little bit on reparations.
T.I., I don't know what T.I. out here doing with this cryptocurrency, but if you ain't in the stock market yet, get in the stock market, play the game real quick, because otherwise you playing with savings accounts and them joints only going exponential your money about what? 10 cents on the month versus what you could do versus what you could do in the stock market. So if you don't know how to play the game, watch some YouTube videos, figure some stuff out, ask the people that do know, and make some stuff shake. But don't mess with TI, don't mess with your celebrities and your cryptocurrencies. I would only trust like Bitcoin and a few others right now. But don't listen to people on podcasts talk about them either. So I'm not gonna give you no others past Bitcoin.
Disclaimer.
Well,
Don't listen to Trip Simpson about cryptocurrency.
no shit.
That's all I got.
Maria.
All right. Your boy Andrew. I feel like with him coming out as a bisexual, I do think that was definitely PR.
That's what it's called?
It's the B.
It's the V in the alphabet, people.
In the LGBTQ,
Yes,
that's the B.
Yes. I think that might help him if he runs again. If he runs or whatever, I'm really not familiar with.
Not in Florida.
I don't know. Maybe he may want to get into politics again later. I don't know. But I do feel like as far as him and the comments that people were really making about, his marriage, I'm wondering if his wife knew and all of that other stuff. I just feel like whatever is his personal business, that's his personal business. I mean, whatever you choose to do outside of, your political life, your entertainment life, that's your business. At the end of the day, they're people first. So
that's my business.
Hey, to each his own. However, I do feel as though those people in those positions should definitely be mindful that you're being watched, and everything you do, private or not, can potentially be seen and shown. As far as Joe Budden and Charlemagne, y'all know I'm riding with Joe Budden. Please, y'all, go. If y'all haven't seen it, go watch it, because Joe Budden definitely spits some gems. I feel like Charlemagne is definitely being a little bitch. And instead of him, recognizing and taking accountability and listening, he just acting like a bitch and still being in the situation that he's been. He's still not owning anything. So I feel like that's the key here, that,
Be right back, y'all.
Ownership is key. Well, all right. Oh, be careful, guys. Be careful. Let's see, where was I? Right. Yeah, go check it out, y'all, for real, because Joe Budden definitely was shooting gems, and T.I.
You got 14 bricks right there?
Shut up. And last but not least, T.I. and the whole cryptocurrency scam sound a lot like the Fire Festival to me. And the whole thing with Ja Rule in it, it sounds just like that. Yeah, I'm just like, well, when you play dirty, you get dirty and you essentially get caught. So, it. And those are my final thoughts.
Alrighty, Cosby Digital.
Shout out to everybody who's listening this week to the Straight Talk No Chase podcast. Make sure you find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook Live. Soon to be on Twitch eventually. Shout out to y'all, man. Make sure you like and share this episode. Where do I begin? Let's start with Andrew Gilliam. I think some of the same arguments that were made for Joe Budden on this podcast, the same rationales need to be extended to Andrew Gilliam. Because when we talk about when we talk about not publicly airing out, our brothers that are making a positive contribution to the community, just because we don't like somebody's lifestyle or disagree or whatever the case may be, we can't change the rules around, right? The things that happened to him happened after he ran. So if we're going to put a microscope to every politician's life, we're going to bring dirt on anybody. Or if we put a microscope on any of our lives, right, some dirt is going to come up. So I appreciate him having the courage to come out and say what he said. And I think he has a political future, based upon the work he's done and the time he's put in. When it comes to T.I., T.I. situation is just another example of a celebrity endorsing something that they didn't necessarily understand everything was going on. They caught the check, put their name on it, and I don't think he fully understood, because if he did, I don't think he would have signed his name to it. When it comes to, what's the next topic we had? Somebody throw me in. Punch me in.
Coronavirus. And then
Yeah,
I think we went into reparations or something after that.
Okay, no. So we went into who's going to take the vaccine, right?
That's what it was.
Yeah, if we talk about the people who've had coronavirus, especially symptoms, and would they take a vaccine if they, because the coronavirus is probably going to morph into another form, just like the flu virus has. And the people who've been through the fire, most likely they would risk taking the vaccine versus going through what they went through again. And it's all dependent on how things evolve, how things morph out, right? When it comes to Donald Trump and his misinformation, speaking for myself, if I hadn't had the coronavirus and I was listening to Donald Trump, I would think it wasn't a big deal at all, right? I would think it was maybe a hoax, or maybe it was something that the government was doing to control people. But then if I heard his private conversations and he expressed what he really thought about it, and then you look into the type of security and social distancing he has around him, he gets tested every day. Everyone who comes in contact with him gets tested every day. When they're not on camera, they do have on masks. So you take that for what that is, knowing the facts. When it comes to Joe Budden and Charlemagne, like I alluded to early on, when you are an entrepreneur and everything is on the line, the conversation and stakes are always going to be different for somebody who, works for somebody else. It's just how you approach the situation, how you value your intellectual property, how you approach your negotiations are going to be completely different, because you're thinking long term, right? You put the time in, you put the effort in, right? And you didn't put it in because you were punching the clock. You put it in because you had faith in an idea. You had faith in a program. You had faith in something that was going to bring you, it's going to bring you something, right? You had faith. You had to have faith in what's going on versus you were paid to do something. So if you coming from that space and time, your conversation and negotiation are always going to be different. And I understand what Joe Budden was talking about, because the Joe Budden podcast can be forever. If he negotiates this deal right, his family right now, everybody on that show, their children can benefit from one of the greatest podcasts of our generation. Because Joe Budden has one of the greatest podcasts of our generation. And for him to sell that short would be a travesty. So I salute Joe Budden in fighting for what he's really worth. I think that was it, right?
That's all you got?
And was that it? Was that the last topic? Help me.
I think you went over everything.
I can't see the fucking. I got pre-production, y'all.
Same way I felt.
The light is right in my face.
I finally
So
came up with a
can't
solution for when I can't see what's going
see
on.
the goddamn.
And then y'all took away my solution. I don't be remembering the topic.
I feel like that was
Yeah, I think that was it.
the gist of it.
You did good.
Definitely, man. Hey, listen. Great final thoughts from everybody this week, man. I'm gonna keep it short, I think. Anyway, Andrew Gillum, as I like to call him, Gilly the Squid.
Somebody hit that button, because how did you come up with that nickname? I'm curious to know. It was slimy and fishy
They
for
found
you?
him on the floor sweaty.
No, he was swimming in his own vomit.
Gilly the Squid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gilliam.
I feel like
found him
this,
naked on
that's
the
the
floor
thing that's gonna get the
in his own
episode
vomit.
deleted.
Gilliam.
Yep.
Nah, Andrew Gilliam. I mean, listen, man.
Gilliam.
Whatever your sexual preferences is, that's on you. I've never been a fan of Andrew Gilliam's politics.
Gilliam.
Whatever. Andrew Gillum. I've never been a fan of his politics. I've never been a fan of his haircut. I never been a fan of his suits. I never been a fan of this clown from number one. Only because Andrew Gilliam is the typical black male that they put in the Democratic Party. A spineless, effeminate chump who is there to carry out the marching orders of Nancy Pelosi, and that's it. They called him, they set him up, they done pulled up. I don't want to say that, that's offensive.
Uh-oh.
Don't get the episode deleted.
After a minute,
I'll just say
an hour
this.
45.
We see who he is. He is who the rest of these, Cory Booker's probably the same way. These guys, they march in front of us with no backbones, always show themselves. And I'm not saying he doesn't have a backbone because he's bisexual.
Cory Booker is clear for the record. Andrew Gilliam was actually questionable. They had to try and like stage somebody for Cory Booker. What was the celebrity name? Some actress?
Rosario Dawson.
She was acting like she was his girlfriend.
Yeah,
That was
Rosario
funny.
Dawson.
Keep going. Sorry.
Yo, typical Democratic black male that they get to put in front of us. Clown. I mean, whatever. It is what he is. It is what it is. He got what was coming to him. I think his political career is over, especially in the state of Florida, because, I mean, it's Florida. Maybe he can move to Atlanta.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
That was messed up.
Damn, Maria.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
Oh, you alive now, huh?
Yo, I'm gonna leave it alone off that one. Okay. Shit.
Maybe he can move to Atlanta.
As far as Joe Budden and Charlemagne the God go, I mean, Charlemagne the God continuously shows us who he is. I'm not a fan of any of his books. He has had a couple of interesting people on the Breakfast Club, so I respect him for that. Dr. Claude Anderson, Tariq Nasheed. He even had Umar on there when Umar was making sense. So I mean, I can't say Charlemagne is a complete.
He's conflicted.
I can't say Charlemagne has been a complete disaster, but at this point, it's clear by the way he's done Joe Budden that he is. I mean, like, he's butted in to this conversation when he hadn't had to, and it's clear that he's tried to launch a smear campaign against this man, and it's unwarranted. Like, you in your lane, he in his lane. You say he abused women, but you raped a woman. You say he abuses animals, and
I said he should have killed her, but I understand.
So look, you can't, you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. You say he abuses animals, and you admit to being high and letting your dog lick your nuts. That's just weird. So, I mean, you're a weird dude. And the shit that you're doing to Joe Budden is extremely weird. This man is just trying to go out here and get what he deserves and get what he's worth. I mean, you're an employee. You're getting paid well from your employer. Y'all just not the same. As far as T.I. goes in this SEC investigation and him getting busted for the cryptocurrency, I think T.I. is pretty much what you're going to get out of this sector of entertainers. These people are owned at the end of the day. They're owned. So I hate to come off rough on them all the time, but I know that they're owned, and I know that the people that own them, I know that the people that own them won't let them operate in the realm and space that's going to actually make change within our community. So that's why I'm quick to shut a lot of the nonsense that they come out with down. As far as Ice Cube goes, we touched on that a little bit. I'm not all the way knocking Ice Cube, okay? I'm not here to disrespect Ice Cube. I'm just here to say he's misinformed. I'm here to say that his contract for Black America was not thought out enough. I think the sentiment is there. I think his overall message of not giving away your vote for free is definitely on point. But I think that the meat and potatoes behind his contract are missing some steel columns, and one of those steel columns is cutting that check to the descendants of American slavery. Period. I don't rock with politically including other groups because they don't include us. And quite frankly, I don't blame them.
Damn, that's what we got about the Indians.
I just don't hope they blame. I just hope they
too.
don't blame us because we ain't finna include them in our shit.
Is it
it's
too
all
late?
love. It's all love. But at the end of the day, we got to look out for what's best for our group so we can keep it moving and continue to reach for victory in the nation that we built.
Is it too late to give my final Native American thoughts?
I'll tell you what, we can do a post
Absolutely.
show. We can do a post show.
That was bad. I just wanted to test y'all. That's messed up because I ain't even had nothing else to say. I wasn't going to disagree with y'all. Y'all had y'all point. I feel you. Cool. I just wanted to bring up thought-provoking conversation real quick.
Nah, it's all good. And you know when you did that, man, that's what we do here on Straight Talk No Chase, man. We sit up here, we build, we politic, we yell, we scream, but at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. We want to push the culture forward. And
There's some assholes because you wouldn't let me get my final Native American thoughts. That's
hey,
that.
man, put the weed down. That's it for Straight Talk Chase. Straight Talk No Chase.